Check, check.
We're checked. And what is happening, everybody? My name is Julius, and I am here once again with a podcast for you to ignore. I hope everyone's doing all right. I'm here with a new voice. I like having different people on each week of the podcast, or as many as I can get. And I've been talking to this guy for a while, and I've been trying to get him on a podcast because he's a fellow artist, a musician, and recently a director on a project I worked on, which we can talk a little bit about.
Yeah.
It is Mr. Ruben Rabbit. How are you, Ruben?
Doing well. How are you doing, Julius? Thanks for having me on.
I'm doing so well because now you gave me this. You gave me this energy drink of Sour Patch Kids.
And very little calorie.
Oh, there you go.
No sugar.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no sugar, but high
caffeine.
High caffeine.
Oh, hell yeah. All right, here we go. I'm going to do a shot on the podcast.
And I'm not sponsored by these guys, so.
What flavor do you have?
Blue raspberry.
Okay, I got
these two are my favorite.
I got red berry, and I'm not really a I'm gonna lie. I'm not really a candy guy, meaning that I don't go out of my way to get candy. But if it's brought to me, I'm gonna go insane on it.
You're gonna go ham on it.
I'm gonna go ham. Let me try this. Oh my God, there's no sugar in that?
There's no sugar,
dude.
They
what?
taste sweet though, huh? Like
like it tasted like sugar.
Yeah,
there's
none, dude. Zero.
My friend, I'm curious if you ever think like this, but my friend Andrew once asked me, because I'm a vegetarian, he asked me like what I think would happen if like all these vegan, food, like Morningstar, I think is one of them that puts out vegan food. Mm-hmm. Like if it turned out it was actually meat and it was just kind of like a placebo test they were doing on the public. Like
human
what would
meat.
happen?
What if it was human meat?
Soylent Green.
Yeah.
Like what do you think would happen if that was the case for like the vegan like chicken or meat supplements they put out there?
Well, people would be having a meltdown, dude. It'd be like everything they were writing on just goes out the window, and you questioning. You probably like start questioning whether or not the Earth is flat or round and stuff. After that,
man, dude, I'm surprised there's not like as big a push for the meat is real narrative as there is with flat Earth.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, like, I don't think there's any push to that the fake meat is
real meat.
Yeah, But that's a good one. We could add that to the conspiracies.
Do you ever research any sort of like conspiracies and stuff?
Yeah.
What's your favorite? Quote unquote favorite.
Yeah, there's a few. I really do enjoy the Manson whole conspiracies that go behind Charles Manson. It's more like a black hole that the whole Manson thing is, in terms of there's all these weird synchronicities that connect that case and the murders, and because he was kind of high level Manson at a point, like in the whole Laurel Canyon Hollywood scene. He was friends with Jim Morrison.
Yeah, he was a wannabe musician, right?
Well, he's actually a pretty good musician, and even people like Neil Young, he was revered by an artist like him, and he was Dennis Wilson from the Beach Boys thought he was a great musician too. Part of it is he was a pimp growing up, as a kid and stuff, so he knew how to attract these women, and that was like for these artists that were around Manson, like Dennis Wilson. That was a big thing. Like he found Manson hitchhiking in Malibu.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Manson was like a couple of his women,
Yeah.
And he picked them up, took him back to the pad, and then he was just had a lot of charisma that he kept him around.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. But yeah, then like you get things like the Roman Polanski tie with Sharon Tate, who was murdered by the Manson family. Roman Polanski was Sharon Tate's husband, but then he filmed the movie Rosemary's Baby.
Was that during that time?
That was during that time. Yeah. I'm not sure if it was 68. It might have been like 68.
Around that, I was thinking either 67 or 68.
Yeah, it was before the murders, which were 69.
Yeah.
So Yeah, it might have been 67.
Uh-huh.
Could have been. But then the Dakota hotels where they filmed that movie,
Yeah.
Rosemary's Baby, and the Dakota hotels where John Lennon used to stay.
Mm-hmm.
That's where he was shot in front of by Chapman
Oh yeah, over in New York.
in New York.
Oh wow.
He was shot in front of the Dakota Hotel.
Yeah.
And John Lennon was obviously part of the Beatles who wrote Helter Skelter.
Yeah, and that was a big influence into, I guess, the dark turn that Manson
Yeah, I
went
mean,
in, right? You know, like
I mean, he was hearing messages, but when
yeah,
you're under all these psychedelics, and and you're prone to things like schizophrenia, and,
Yeah.
it's gonna affect your brain in a different way.
yeah.
So they were hearing things, whether or not they existed in that. Who knows, man?
Yeah, no. Well, it's interesting how you bring up like all the connections between, just everything in the universe. Everything. Cause I know you're a very universe prone guy. Is that a good way of putting it? Like do you let the universe guide you on your paths?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, you could look at it like the tarot deck.
Mm-hmm.
In the beginning of the tarot deck, you get the fool card, which which is the fool. He's about to fall over like off a cliff, and he has a dog next to him, kind of like Dorothy, like with a pouch of food or whatever his belongings. And then a little dog, the dog representing like nature, guided by nature, almost falling off the cliff. But the fool card, the character has a look of like he has this whimsical predisposition to himself, to where he's not worried about what's over the ledge, like almost like there's a ledge beyond the edge right there. Having faith, that has to do with like faith in the universe, like you're saying. So like I try, there's always like those battles, but I try to guide myself by that aspect of faith, and reminding myself like there's I'm meant to be here,
Yeah.
and having faith in myself too, and belief and all that.
You have a pretty strong spiritual center, would you say?
I try to.
You tried to?
Yeah, I mean, I would say I do, but just as any human, even Christ,
Yeah.
that whether you believe in that character or not, he battled in question. When he was on the cross, he was like, "Why have you forsaken me?" So like we all have moments of doubt, and but like I was my thing is I understand that there's gonna be like a weary road, and there's gonna be suffering and all that, but I'm cool with like embracing that almost, and like I've kind of learned to kind of enjoy that sometimes, and because like that's what makes the ends kind of worthwhile,
Yeah, and like justified, right?
Yep.
Yeah. How do you implement that kind of philosophy into your art? Because you do music and everything, recently, filmmaking and all that. So how does that incorporate in the creative?
It's a lot of like, for me, it's a lot of tapping into the shadow, I would say. So like the light side is where I want to live,
Yeah.
but it's kind of boring at times, and that's why I used to dabble into drugs, alcohol, and things like that. And when I would dabble into that, it was like me dancing with chaos, and there's a fine line, because my inspiration oftentimes was like direct experience. So if I wanted to understand the world, like say a favorite artist of mine, like Charles Bukowski, poet, like I wanted to understand his world. I used to go get like blacked out drunk, and I would like take the bus out to Skid Row. And I used to go to King Eddie's bar where he used to drink because I wanted to understand. I wanted to see what he saw.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm like you have the potential to lose yourself in that because if you go too far into the abyss, it's going to stare back into you.
Yeah. and like what's interesting about that is like I've certainly had my moments like that where I've partaken into stuff, and you know, had my little wild adventures and stuff, especially with public transit.
Yeah, for sure.
and you wonder if like when you try to do that type of stuff where you try to understand like someone else's journey, like there's this idea of like, am I gonna be, if I go too far with this, am I gonna just be left with a reflection, or am I gonna have an experience that's gonna be part of my own? You know what I mean? Like, am I just imitating, or am I incorporating?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Does that ring true to any of the experiences you had?
Yeah. Part of it is like I take myself serious and I take these things serious, but then I also remember to try not to take myself too serious at times, you know, because then you have the risk of becoming like a parody of yourself, almost, you know, like, like, you don't want to show up every time. Like, say, like, for instance, David Lynch or something. You know, then like Mad Magazine was going to make a comic part about David Lynch. Yeah. It would just be all like super surreal and like almost to the point where it's like comical, you know? I guess it's like, that's where the absurdity comes in. It's like, he talks about that. Like,
I have a book of David Lynch actually right here. It's called Catching the Big Fish, David Lynch.
That's a good one, yeah.
Oh, have you read this?
Yeah.
Oh, no way.
I got it from the library one time.
Oh, cool. I like David Lynch is I would like to see that, by the way, the Mad Magazine David Lynch edition. That'd be fantastic.
But he kind of talks about that, like the absurdity. It's like a chicken running into a brick wall. Mm-hmm. It's like, what's going on here? But then it becomes absurd when he keeps doing it and he becomes a bloody pulp.
Yeah. It's just like you're just stuck in the repetition, right?
Yeah. But, you know, at the same time, there's like a fine line too, where with my music even, because my background is music too, you know? So it's like, I'm obviously inspired by many different artists and I want to be original too. But at the same time, you kind of can't help but to take some of these inspirations. Like the greatest, even the Beatles had like a lot of influences by, you know, Muddy Waters and these early,
Little Richard and
like these blues artists, and they took some of that, but then they made something new. So
I think did a lot of drugs as well. It was
yeah, I mean that'll expand.
It'll all become a whole genre in of itself. I love. Are the Beatles like your favorite band?
I would say so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, just because they're the fundamentals, you know, they're the foundation. Like I loved Black Sabbath as like one of my top bands too, but like Ozzy would say that the Beatles inspired him, and then just they have so many great songs and just what they did, like anything that could inspire and change culture, I've always been fascinated with. Yeah. You know, that's why I like Nirvana. They did that in the 90s, and I thought that was pretty incredible too. It's hard to do that, you know? Like change like the way people view things, and like from the 80s excess hair and glam and all that kind of shit. Yeah. Then they came and they were like in touch with something real inside, and everyone was like wanted to be a part of that too. Like that's pretty powerful to me. And then it goes with like films too, when a film could come out and create a sort of like mass hysteria, like The Exorcist when it first came out. That's why I love that movie. Passion of the Christ. I mean, those are two opposite ends, but I love both of those movies because of like the power that they both had. Yeah, and it's like, it really is like a universe moment in that like all the stars align. Like I think an example of that is like the original Star Wars, where it's like
it came out at the right time with the right people, with making it, and just the right story,
Yeah.
and it is fundamental now.
Oh yeah,
It's
for sure.
it's like an institution,
Yeah, no, you have to study those things too.
Yeah.
And whether you like it or not, take some stuff, man, because those are your teachers right there.
Yeah, well, and they're taking stuff, so
Yeah.
it's always art is always being recycled, and
It's knowing how to mask it, really, dude.
Yeah.
Someone said that at some point, but it's like really like knowing how to hide your resources, kind of thing, like where you're taking shit from.
didn't Picasso say great artists steal, pretty much, and then Steve Jobs was like. He called his team at like Apple, like they were artists, but before being artists they were pirates, because they would just like take from everything.
Yeah,
just cross cultured.
And then look what they do. They're constantly innovating products and all that. So I mean, it's that balance, dude.
Yeah,
it's like tapping into the shadow right there too. It's like, okay, like say Edison stole a bunch of ideas from Tesla.
Yeah,
that's him tapping into like that primal, I'm gonna still come up on this, it's survival of the fittest kind of thing, but then utilizing like the light and making some good out of it, like making chicken salad out of chicken shit kind of thing.
Chicken shit bingo. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
This is how often chickens defecate. Okay, so you can place a bingo mat on the floor, on the table or whatever, and you put a chicken on top of it, and if you get like a row of chicken shit, you win.
Oh damn, that's some shit kicker shit. They probably do that in the South somewhere.
Yeah, then they orchestrate it with the music of the wash tubs and everything.
Oh, yeah.
What are those things called where they
those jugs. Oh,
yeah.
I don't know what those things are called.
I always thought they were like paper clips, but they're not.
Yeah,
just like a metallic thing. They just flip and it makes that little noise.
Like those file tuner things. I don't know.
Well, speaking of music, I mean, what kind of music do you do? I mean, and yeah. What kind of music do you do? Because I got another question for after that.
Yeah, I have a couple of different projects, but like I'll talk about my soul project that I've been doing ever since I was a drummer initially growing up, and then I kind of like got kicked out of these bands that I was in, so I wanted to learn how to play guitar and write, because I wanted to sing. Not really like because I wanted to sing, but because I had songs in my head that I needed to get out. So I was like, okay, I got to sing, I guess, kind of thing. More so. And then, but that music is called The Sound of Perception. And you could hear the heavy Beatles stuff in it, but not conventional Beatles. You could hear it more like in the melody. And the music is like 90s mixed with like psychedelic explosions in the sky type stuff. It's just like a mix of a lot of different things I like, and then I even add like some doom metal type stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
But like the Sabbath type of background.
Do you try to get a pit started at any point?
If it happens, it happens.
Okay.
Yeah. But that's where my other band, it's like a death metal band, Dark as Death.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, those guys. There's like pits. Yeah.
And I'm sure you've partaken in some pits in your time.
Oh yeah.
And like, how crazy do you get in the pit?
Not so much as much as I did in the past, but I've gotten pretty wild, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the last good one I was in was a few months back. I went to the Black Flag show.
Oh, okay, cool.
And that was fun, dude.
Yeah.
I was like pitting the entire time. And,
But is Henry Rollins still in that group?
No.
Oh, he's done with it. He's been done with it.
Yeah, I'm not sure when the last time if he had any reunion stuff with them, but it's the guy Mike Valley. Mm-hmm. He was this skateboarder guy.
Oh, okay.
He had a viral video in like the early 2000s where he like gets in a fight with there's like 4 people, and he like pushes to him, and he like fights with like 3 dudes, kind of, and he beats their asses. And
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Does he have a skateboard on him or anything? Or
No, he was just like
barehanded?
Yeah.
Oh my god! I was like, damn, this guy needs a weapon or something.
Yeah, no, he kind of kept the distance well and all that. And then he like honed in on one dude, kind of turned so the other guy to face the other guy. So, yeah, he knew what he was doing for the most part. Yeah.
Oh my god! Do you ever like when you're on stage and everything, and you're trying to get the pit going, or you're trying to get the crowd rallied and everything? Do you ever be like, "All right, you motherfuckers, you better get on that side, and you get on that side."
What the fuck is up, Denny's?
Oh my god, dude! When I saw that video of that Denny's. Like they rented out like a Denny's or something.
Yeah,
held a metal show.
See, that's what I'm talking about. That's where you have the danger of becoming a parody of yourself. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, especially in this.
They're like super
time.
serious about it too. Like, what the fuck is up, Denny? And they're all like headbanging, like while someone's getting a fucking moons over my hammy served to them and shit.
A grand slam, dude. Oh my god,
some Denny swords to like some little kid and shit.
I wonder how the acoustics are in a Denny's.
Well, they have carpet and
Yeah.
they have those like foam booths. Maybe okay, I guess.
I wonder if they ask that, like they call ahead when reserving the space.
Like, how's the acoustics?
How are the acoustics in your Denny's?
How did they set up that show? They knew someone who owned that particular one or something.
Oh, did they?
No, I mean, I'm assuming
They must have, right?
Like when we used to throw like heavy shows like that, kind of DIY style like that too. They would have never permitted us to play there. I mean, we played at a rec center that was for old folks.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, years back.
Oh, okay.
But, I mean,
were they there?
they weren't there.
Oh, that would have been awesome.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess like it was funny just knowing that, you know.
I wonder if they told them that, like told the old people.
They're
like,
probably like, oh, we're kind of like, you know, we're just a mellow rock band, kind of like the Beatles.
I went to a show recently, pretty metal, pretty cool, chill metal show, where there was actually they were trying to get the pit on, but there's no pit happening. But it was in like a rec center for like army vets over in on Temple,
Like a veterans hall.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
in City of Industry.
No, it was closer. It was in El Monte.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, pretty cool. Yeah.
Off of Valley.
Yeah. Do you know that it's near a 99-cent store?
I think I do, but I've never been there. But I think it's by like the
There's like a
courthouse and all that.
Yeah. There's a police
Okay,
station
yeah.
nearby.
Yeah.
Yeah. That place was pretty cool. I had actually a weird like little like I don't know if it was a Matrix moment or a Universal moment.
Glitch.
Yeah, a little glitch or something.
I love that.
It was weird. It was weird. Like I was driving over there and I was getting off the freeway and I was listening to this review I don't know why. I was in an Ari Aster mood. So I was listening to a review of one of his movies. His short films called Strange Thing About the Johnsons. Have you ever seen it?
No.
It's a really bizarre film.
Oh.
And are you familiar?
Check it out.
Yeah, it's really uncomfortable, but really good at the same time.
I like stuff like that.
Okay, well you're gonna love it then. I'm not gonna say anything about it. Just
Okay.
check it out and let me know what you think. You know Hereditary, and I'm getting to the spot, the center, and I have to take a right on this street called Johnson Avenue. I was like, what the fuck? That's kind of weird. So I don't. Maybe I'm looking really deep into it, but it was just an odd.
Those things mean
coincidence.
something, dude. I don't know. I tend to. I mean, sometimes I try to tune those things out because then it becomes like schizophrenic and stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you.
No, I want to hear it.
So like, I was learning "Happiness Is a Warm Gun."
Oh yeah.
By the Beatles, and I remember I played it with you one time.
Yeah.
And I was with my girlfriend, and I was like jamming it out, like over and over, because the timing is weird. So I was like trying to figure out that timing, and it's like there's like extra notes that you have to kind of catch. And no one's in the house, and I start hearing like footsteps.
Really? Like down the hall or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she heard it, and I heard it. So then I was like, what the fuck? And like I go out there, Well, before I go out there, because I just didn't know if there's someone in there. I grab a gun, just in case, dude. So like I have this Glock or whatever, and then I'm like,
or whatever. Yeah.
And now I'm down the hall, and I have this gun in my hand, and then outside of my window, there was this lizard who was hanging out on my window for like a month straight, dude. Every day. I thought he was dead.
Yeah.
I was just like, but I never went to go mess with him until it was like maybe 3 weeks, 2-3 weeks. And I was like, dude, what's up with this lizard? He's just there every day. So I went to go touch the lizard, and it kind of moved. I was like, dang, this thing's alive. So I don't know what's up with it. And then, and this was like the same day that happened. So then it came to me, the song "Happiness Is a Warm Gun." He's like, he says the like a lizard on a windowsill.
Oh shit! That's weird.
And then I like look at my girlfriend. I'm like, the lizard on the windowsill, and then I had the gun.
Oh my god!
Happiness is a warm gun. I'm like, what the fuck? She got scared, dude.
Oh really?
Yeah, it was just like this energy started coming. I was like, oh dang, we're tapping into that thing,
She's like, I'm leaving. Dude, that's crazy.
It's just kind of like weird synchronicities like that, but it's like when you feel it though too.
Yeah.
But there's something like interesting. I kind of like tapping into that.
Yeah, like there is like there's like a participant. You are a participant to moments like that, you know, and you have a role to play in them.
You're in that flow state because kind of like the goal you want to be is like being in flow state.
Yeah.
Like you ever hear about the soldiers who run down, like they're like, oh, I'm gonna go run out, and then they go in the hill of gunfire, and they don't get shot,
Yeah.
And they're just in it, and they're taking people out, kind of thing. They're in that flow state. They like tap into that thing, or like a Jimi Hendrix fucking solo freestyling, and he's not like fucking up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He just keeps going, and he's in that flow. It's like that's always what like I'm trying to reach, like to get into those flow states.
Do you think you can enact them? Like, do you think you can have both hands on the driver's seat during those moments, or are they just kind of like dumb luck?
Damn, that's it. Yeah, that's a good question because it's like. I'm not sure, dude. I'm not sure if it's like dumb luck or like a part of it is you're tapping into that higher power.
Yeah.
But then it's like the whole thing about the observer and like the photons. Mm-hmm. When you start trying to observe the photons, they begin to move.
Yeah.
Because the way like we're interacting with it.
Yeah.
So maybe the flow state in a sense kind of works that way as well. To where when we start trying to, because I know like say I am soloing or something and it's sounding good and I become self-aware.
Yeah.
Then I start messing up. I start hitting notes because now it's like ego.
Yeah.
Now it's like my ego.
Or like fear even, Like so,
yeah, it could be fear,
you have like a stake in it.
Fear will get in the way of a lot of shit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like the fear, like, oh man, I hope I don't mess up, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Now you're doubting.
Yeah.
To where you were just like in it.
Yeah.
But then also like the ego thing is like, oh man, I sound badass.
Yeah.
Thing,
right.
So now it's like there's like a sort of like repercussion. For being in that. Other times, I feel like when I have gotten into that ego, like, oh man, it sounds badass. Sometimes you got to go more ego in order to like, in order to not lose it.
Yeah.
But that's part of like selling your soul at that point.
There's like the way I kind of visualize it. It's like when two sides of a magnet, like instead of like lock with each other, push each other away, or like the opposite ends of magnets are like you feel that barrier, right? And that's kind of like when you notice there's like that flow you're talking about. It's like, can I connect with it, or is it like just opposite ends of magnets where they are just supposed to push each other back and forth? It's interesting.
Yeah, sometimes you wanna say for instance, a beautiful woman or something, or
Yeah.
whoever you're into, you want this person so bad,
Yeah.
and they don't want you, and they don't
Yeah.
find you attractive. They're not into you or whatever, and that piece of the puzzle will just not fit.
Yeah.
Like, it's just something that's beyond you. It's not, like we come back. I mean, like allegorically speaking, like the bodhisattvas in the Buddhist tradition, they're like the warriors who went to nirvana, and they decided to come back to like remind the people left on the hell realms, like, hey, you have the potential to reach nirvana, but their mission is to remember that they're that soldier too,
Yeah.
and that they got to come back. But that's the risk, that they may or may not come back. And then it's them remembering, like, so there's the Matrix. There's say that woman that you're really here to rescue, kind of thing. But now you're seeing an image of the ideal of who you think is that woman, but it's really another one that looks like it, like the false agents of light, false prophets, kind of thing like that. And now you're like chasing that, and you're stuck in that kind of, you're creating that sort of hell, which is like that Matrix, the woman in red, kind of thing.
Yeah. I recently watched The Matrix in the theaters. It was pretty dope.
The first one?
Yeah.
Oh,
Original one.
well, what theater played it?
The Academy over on Colorado in Pasadena.
Oh, cool.
On Tuesdays they do these classic movie nights for like $7 a ticket.
Oh, damn, that's badass.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I'd never seen The Matrix.
I never got to see that in
theaters.
the theater.
Yeah,
so
dude.
that would have been cool.
Oh.
I saw Fight Club that same year though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, which I love Fight Club.
Oh yeah. I recently, I didn't see it in theater, but I recently rewatched that. I love that film.
Dude, it's one of my favorites. The
Yeah.
book is great too, man.
Yeah, I read. Yeah, the book is really good. Have you ever read the sequel book or
No,
graphic
that
novel?
one came out not that long ago.
Yeah,
But
it's a recent.
Yeah, I've been meaning to. I haven't though.
They have like Fight Club 2 and Fight Club 3.
Oh, dang.
And
Man, I'm behind. I read the first one like 3 times, dude. I loved it so much.
Well, that's another movie kind of about like questioning purpose and everything, right? Questioning reality. I mean, clearly questioning reality in Fight Club,
Yeah.
but like not. I mean, it's obviously very cynical, but there's an element of spirituality in Fight Club.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You know, did you sound like you did a lot of religious studies, like just through your life? You know, is that the case? I mean, you got the little cross. You're rocking it right there. You know.
Yeah, man. I've dabbled into a lot of different things, like elements of the occult,
Yeah.
which like that derives from the root word oculus. You know, the eye, so that which is hidden from the eye. So it's like, I guess, like the mystery schools type of thing, and there's a lot of. I've always been pretty fascinated with philosophy and religion and things like that. But to go back to your, like the magnet thing that you're talking about too, like in terms of films like Fight Club, and like another movie that is kind of a good example of that is No Country for Old Men, because you get like these two opposite ends.
Yeah.
That by fate, it's kind of like the magnet thing, but they're just being drawn to each other like hard, heavy. Because this one guy, Llewellyn Moss, he's a Vietnam vet, badass. He's not afraid. You know, he's seen death like out in Vietnam, and he sees an opportunity. He's a regular like blue collar dude, but he sees money that he can't say no to, so he puts himself in the situation. Then you get Sugar, the main the antagonist dude, and he's this badass motherfucker too.
Yeah.
But he underestimates Llewellyn the way Llewellyn underestimates him.
Yeah.
And that's why they both end up like tagging each other a few times when they're in those battles, and you know, but eventually it was the forces of nature that kind of got both of them.
Yeah.
Because there was a bigger thing, the cartel. Spoiler, sorry. The cartel takes out
Llewellyn, right? Yeah.
and then the car accident takes out Sugar.
Don Sugar.
There's like, they don't even get each other in the end.
Yeah.
You know, it's like other forces of nature that are at work that are bigger than them. And then with like Fight Club, there's that spiritual element to, or with Fight Club, I feel like that movie and the book and all that, but more so the movie, because it was around that time period where things really changed. It really became kind of like the mantra of like punk rockers at the time,
Mm-hmm.
because it just tapped into so much things that a lot of people I knew like stood for in the years to follow that it came out. Like just like the anti materialism.
Yeah, the anti-establishment.
Yeah, and just like not caring about that stuff so much.
Yeah.
You know, I've never really been big in like things like flossing too much or anything like that, you know. Like I'd be totally cool squatting in that pad and shit, like whatever. But yeah, that taps into that, but at the same time, the danger of it was the nihilism aspect.
Yes.
Because like in my early, like when I was like 19, 20, I started dabbling into like nihilism and all that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and that's when like things just got like really dark for me.
Well, like what was it? I don't know if it was Fight Club specifically that got you into that or propelled you into that, but like what was it at the time that kind of attracted you to that?
It wasn't Fight Club, because there's like you get different, like you get Tyler Durden, who's like the nihilistic kind of dude, and then you get the narrator who
Kind of a victim, right?
He's trying to latch on to love, you know?
Yeah.
Deep down.
Yeah.
And he just happens to love this street woman.
Yeah.
Marla Singer. But that's why he had to kind of get rid of that. He kills his shadow, or more so he integrates it, you know? He didn't need Tyler at the end because he became like he understood who that shadow side was. And then the other side was like him tapping into the feminine. It was like the male and female becoming one, you know, overcoming the lower animal self, kind of like this, you know.
Oh, what do you get? Oh, your tattoo is, what's your tattoo of on your
this
fist?
This is the ancient alchemy artwork called Rebus from 1617, and it kind of depicts that. It's a man woman overcoming the lower animal self on standing on top of
the earth.
Yeah. Creation with the sun and moon.
It's about enlightenment.
It's like yeah, I mean ascending, you know, and the microcosm and the macrocosm, the as above so below.
Oh, that's pretty cool. You got a lot of tattoos, and are they all you know, are some of them for fun, or are they all like symbolistic, or are they inherent to your personality? Because I know you got that cool Nicholson one of the Joker.
Yeah, some are just artwork and things that I like the Joker one. I used to do that scene when I was like 3 years old.
Oh, really?
Because I love that movie. So it's just kind of like just keeping that like that kid thing alive in myself, you know.
Yeah.
And then other stuff is just like I have 2 happy faces on my knees.
I noticed that. I was one dude. Whenever I saw those, I was like, okay, those have to be tattoos, because it's like a week apart. They're still there. Okay, all right.
Yeah, it looks like it's just like with a pen or something. But hey, those are some of my favorite ones, because you know you're taking a shit, you look down and like you're having a bad day. You're just like, remember to be happy.
Yeah, it's like, it's gonna be all right, buddy.
Yeah,
you're gonna get through this. Well, we worked together recently on the film Dreamland for our class for Cal State LA, which is, I'm very excited now because the screening is coming up next Friday.
Yeah.
And we're actually gonna see it in like a hall, you know, which is really cool. So, and you were the director on that project. And I was production coordinator and everything. So, when it comes to getting into film, like, because you're a musician by heart, what was the next step? How did you get to that next step of, you know, getting into filmmaking and everything? And by the way, this drink is
it's getting you.
It's getting me. I thought it was gonna be like a sip.
Oh yeah.
Nope.
It'll get you, dude. So first and foremost, like my background is music, but I always considered myself like a storyteller initially. Like I used to write stories in elementary and read them to class, and they were always like fucked up stories.
Yeah.
All the kids would be into it though. They'd be all tripping out at like, and my teachers would call my mom and tell her I had problems and stuff like that. They were like worried about me. One time the counselor called me I had to write a story for the Sat-9 test, and I wrote it about me and my brother, but they said it could be fictional or real, whatever. And it was about an abusive stepdad that I wrote, 7th grade. The counselors took me in the room, and they were like asking me, and just out of curiosity, I told them it was real. I wanted to see their reaction. I didn't realize about CPS and shit like that, you know? But I saw the vibe change, and she started asking me like deeper questions. So I was like, oh yeah, no, my mom, when she found out that he was doing this to us, like I said, how he would beat the shit out of us in the story. She left him and all that, you know?
Yeah.
So they didn't follow up or anything. But yeah, so I guess my stories were kind of intense. But, anyways, but you know, I didn't write this story. This was by one of our classmates, Melissa.
Yes.
But so I've always seen myself as a storyteller, and I would make short films as a kid as well, and throughout like my teens and just throughout life, I would work on projects. It was just kind of a thing that I would do along with other art projects I would do. You know, and film in itself is like the highest level of art that you could probably make, in my opinion, because you could incorporate your music, you got the images, you know, it leaves room, depending on what you're trying to do, for a lot of abstraction as well. You know, like you could create so many different aesthetics and symbols that it could just paint this really broad painting for people to interpret. And you know, to me that's always a fun, like, you know, like we're talking about conspiracies and trying to figure things out and like, what does this mean and all that. I like that in stories as well. That's why I like those kind of conversations come up, because that's what I enjoy with film and art and all that.
Yeah. Well, obviously the movie that we worked on is kind of it's not that. It's not that. It's about. Why don't you describe what it's about?
Okay, so it's called Dreamland, and it's about these two gentlemen and a lady who are waiting to catch their bus in the morning, and they're describing their kind of struggle. They just showed up. One of them just showed up from Honduras, and the others one of them is an immigrant from Mexico, I believe.
Yeah.
I think both of the other characters are. And they're kind of all describing their experience in different ways and different perceptions of what it means to now live in America.
Yeah.
And so it's heavy dialogue, and there's not much location, so we had to kind of try to tell a story with visuals as best as we can within the setting and the dialogue. But it was really interesting. It was really interesting to be able to do that and to like work with other people and get their kind of insight, learn from one another, you know, and kind of just see how everyone works, and even the pressure and all that stuff kind of was fun, you know?
Yeah.
Like the whole thriving in chaos and like kind of writing it is like, that kind of stuff is fun, dude. Cause then afterwards when you're done, it's like that feeling is that cool high, you know? I mean, I don't do anything anymore. So that's like, for me, it's like a good high now, you know?
You guys got it. I need to breathe. Let me breathe. Shut the fuck up and let me breathe. Well, when it came to like the filming day, right? You know, because we were there on campus and everything at the bus stop, and everyone was getting together. Everyone was, well, you know, we had grip and electrical and everything. How did you like battle through a lot of the pressures that a director might face?
kind of looked at it. I train martial arts and stuff like that too, and sometimes you have to bite down on your mouthpiece and just kind of like take the hail of take the flurries, the attacks and stuff. So I kind of was looking at it like that. Like, I'm in this. I'm not going to back down. We have to get this done. Try to be malleable somewhat, but at the same time, I had to be like kind of firm with certain things I was trying to do. And that's why, we had little moments where I was bumping heads with a couple of the people.
Sure.
And it was just a matter of me, like, I didn't want to show my my shot list to some of the people on the crew, because I just felt it would be more inhibiting at the time, and it was kind of like an executive decision that I just felt I made. But I gave it to you guys at the end because you guys were the producers, and I feel like you guys are people to show that to. But some of the other people, I just didn't feel. I felt it would waste time.
Sure,
because it was just going to be, and I've worked on sets before too, where like I'm doing PA work or whatever, and I don't get a copy of the shot list and stuff like that. It was just, there's certain things that I just kind of had to do to stay on track. And then, a lot of it was like trusting the people around me too. Yeah. A lot of it was that. And, I was, I think it's easy to blame me if things go wrong with certain other aspects, but like, say for instance, like sound and these things. But like, if I'm gonna get blamed for anything, then let me do it then.
Yeah. Well, the great thing about this that I think everyone learned is that filmmaking really is a team effort. Like, and I think that's why it's nearly impossible, for good or bad movies to be made. Yeah. And what was it like? Like, do you fancy yourself as a team player, or do you think it's been hard in the past, excluding this project?
Yeah. It's a fine line for me, dude, honestly. Like, it's something that I'm trying to learn more to be more of a team player. But the problem for me is like the creative element, because I'm like, I get a lot of ideas, and then I have to maintain these ideas right now that just want to come out.
Yeah.
So it's like a part of it is that, and I have a lot of passion too. So it's maintaining that as well. But I'm trying to get my technical skills up and all that. So as far as a team player and all that, I don't know. What do you think? Do you think I did okay with?
Yeah, I think everyone was, when it came to like the production side, which was I was a part of and everything. There was just stress all over the project because everyone was, for one thing, we're in school, so we have other classes and the pressures of that plus life and everything. Yeah. If this were, I think, a paid gig, things would probably run differently, which is sure. Probably with every creative endeavor, But I think you did, what you had to do, and we got done that day. And I think that's the important part. Yeah. And we have a screening next week, thankfully. There's so many projects where, it just doesn't, because maybe there's a little bit of drama. There is no project at the end of it, right? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So that's how I've looked at it. I was just more like, let's get this done, and then this done, and then this done,
Yeah. Yeah. No, yeah, that's what I had to kind of explain too, because I did throw a lot of ideas out there that were kind of turned down.
Sure.
Even location wise, like, now we're hearing that the location, we could have found a better spot. But that was I went scouting. I sent pictures and everything, and it was like the projects that were down the street.
Yeah.
Which it was a beautiful location, for and there was a bus stop there, it would have been a great spot. But like I said, I'm not taking away from the film. I feel like I'm proud of the work that we did. I had a great time, honestly, and a lot of it was just kind of like I was nervous too, and then there was little moments of doubt, but it was because also like I'm very sensitive to what others are experiencing too. So if a lot of people are having a lot of doubts, it's gonna somewhat affect me. But it took me like trying my best to maintain, like be steadfast in that I couldn't let those doubts enter my mind.
I was about to ask, how do you combat the doubts, especially when you're in a position like that of the director, where you have to kind of lead the ship and everything? And so it's pretty much just like, let's focus on the work.
It was a lot of what we spoke about before. It's like I was just trying to remember legacy, faith. You know, like I'm meant to be here. Like you can do this, and whether or not anyone else believes, or you do. And that went a long way for me to be able to get through that experience. And like I said too, like a lot of you guys that I worked with, I was like really happy to work with you guys, you know?
Yeah.
Like, and like the way you guys all handled yourselves, it let me know like, oh, there's some people that I would love to work with again, you know?
Yeah, well, when it comes to, aside from, you know, the horrors of filmmaking, like how did you relate to the story? You know, like when it came to these people talking about their past and everything, and versus where they are now. Like how did you relate heavily to it?
Well, yeah, like I was born here in America. My dad is from Mexico. He's from Mexico City and Cuautitlán Izcalli. Yeah. That's his hood. Sometimes I go over there.
Oh, yeah?
Visit my grandpa.
Yeah. You party with your grandpa?
Yeah. Hey, man, he's a big movie buff. He shows me a lot. He puts me on game with movies, dude. Like a lot of the classics. Yeah. Like I think he was like, before I was really into Marlon Brando and all that, like he was showing me that direction. I think he's like, you need to be like this motherfucker right here. Like, kind of thing. But and he watches them all in English.
Okay.
Yeah, he studied out in Chicago, but he was born in Mexico, and he lives there. So my dad came here, and he met my mom here. But I have a lot of family members in Mexico, and that still live there, and I have a lot of family. I have family members who are illegal. You know, like they're not citizens.
Just don't name them.
No, I'm not gonna name them. Ice.
Shit. Here, wait. Hold on.
Ice,
baby. They're here.
So I understand like their struggles and the things that they tell me that they wish, you know, they could, that they could get some of the benefits that a lot of Americans get, and a lot of Americans that honestly like are kind of lazy, and they don't, you know, they feel entitled to all these benefits and rights and all that, to where some of these people are really hard workers and they don't get any of that, you know? So in that sense it was. And also like I grew up working class, you know, so like I also work in HVAC, like heating, air conditioning, and I've worked construction jobs, and I know how hard those jobs could be. And you know, but like keep going. And then a lot of these guys, I tip my hat off to them too, because they, you know, they got families, and they work really hard for them. And I guess it's a better life than in Mexico or wherever they may come from. Yeah. You know, and Asian, Middle Eastern, anywhere, you know.
Yeah,
there's
everywhere.
Immigrants from everywhere. But but this one, it happens to be Hispanic.
Yeah.
So that's why in that aspect, I was able to identify with the story, you know?
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, I never really understood that whole, you know, I mean, obviously it's a bad take because there's a lot of inconsistency in like criticizing immigrants and like, are they lazy or are they taking our jobs? Because they can't be doing both here, you know?
Yeah, I don't understand the lazy thing. I don't.
Yeah.
It's definitely not that. I think the bad rap, which I'm against too, is like the cartel element,
right?
Because that just makes I feel like that sets my Hispanic people back, and it's like we're a lot more than, because everything you watch like that they put on these shows, it's like usually like we come out as a gangbanger or
they have that one you know, the meme
cartel guy, you know, like,
that one guy who plays as the cholo and
like that's the best we got right there, man.
And there's the meme of the the Breaking Bad lighting in the U.S. versus in Mexico, where they turn up the yellow, the yellow saturation.
They do that? I don't know.
It's fun. It's funny.
I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, like they just have like a picture of like desert.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah.
And it's just like it's regular desert, U.S. yellow desert.
Yeah, like super hot and like huts and shit. It's like pretty sophisticated out there too, man. And there's beautiful architecture. And, you know, I really like Coyoacan out there. That's where like Freda lived and all that.
Yeah.
That area is heavily artisan area, you know. So you find a lot of artists and culture, like cool architectures. Yeah, people just think a certain thing, or they think of like the typical Cancun like party kind of thing. But
there's a lot of history, a lot of culture in there.
Yeah, you know, like super early missions that were built there, and you know, beautiful like churches and you know, so
it's foundational, you know, for this country, for especially this state. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
Mexico is a huge part of it. You know, I was talking to this. Most random thing ever, but I was talking to this Cherokee guy yesterday, and he was talking to me about Mexico and, you know, the architecture, and, you know, we're talking about 3,000 years of history, you know, that predate any of the history we're talking about now, like with, you know, 1776, you know what I mean? This is stuff that predates that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And in many ways is more foundational. And for
1500s.
Yeah. This is really important shit.
But even before that, with like the temples and so I got to see those as well. I mean, whenever you get to go to your homeland or whatever, or like some of your roots, like whatever it is, I feel like you start tapping into that like that flow. Like it kind of comes easier.
Yeah,
which is pretty cool.
Yeah, you can like. Well, I was about to say I can't really speak because I haven't been to Mexico since I was like a kid, like really young, near the pyramids and everything. So cool. You know, it's a trip I have to get to. You know, unfortunately, I've been too busy lately. That's, I guess, how adulting is going to be. You know what I mean? But I think people just need to get out more.
Yeah. And
when I say that, like not just, you know, to a club or something. I mean, get out.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Go places.
It's Jack Kerouac, dude. I'm big on that.
Yeah.
That's why, like, I've hitchhiked the West Coast and stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've done that. Like, I had no money at the time, and I wanted to spread my music.
Yeah.
And me and my friend from San Francisco, Johnny. Oh, actually, from this band, I'm wearing the...
What's the name of the band?
The Tortured.
The Tortured? That's a pretty cool name.
Like, we hitched together and we had each other's backs, and it was just us with our acoustics, and it was just cool adventure, man. And that's what I kind of mean too, like about like getting inspiration and through direct experience.
Yeah,
it's like put yourself in an adventure like that, and then you're gonna come with all kinds of material. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I really like the idea of like a pilgrimage. Have you ever tried those? The pilgrimages like across Like it's big in Europe, I think. Like people will go over and they'll walk like hundreds of miles, and stay at different places along the way.
That's what we did.
Oh yeah, yeah.
We would just meet people and like walk the earth kind of thing, Like,
that's pretty cool. Did you hear about this is years ago, a guy hitchhiked from LA to San Diego to go to Comic-Con?
Mm-mm.
He walked all the way.
That's cool.
And he was free entry.
I mean, that's probably not too bad. You could just take the PCH. That's what we did. We took PCH, the one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a cool walk.
Yeah.
It's beautiful on the Pacific Coast Highway.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got some pretty nice
Stayed
beaches.
in like San Luis Obispo.
Oh.
Some people we met at a place just outside of a bar.
Yeah.
Someone picked us up in Santa Barbara.
Oh, okay.
Like we were hitching on a freeway.
Yeah.
Well, it was like we started like around Malibu.
Mm-hmm.
These hippie girls picked us up.
Okay.
They had like their car painted and everything, like with flowers and stuff.
Oh man.
So they took us up for a bit. Then some pretty cool like I don't know, like a business guy or something. He picked us up. He wasn't like business like that. Like he was kind of like laid back.
Okay.
But he was like, "What are you guys doing? You guys hitchhiking?" And we're like, "Yeah." He's like, "That's fucking cool." Then he's just like, he took us some miles up. Then we met some dude that worked at Google. Some Indian guy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And he picked us up. He took us to Chick-fil-A, bought us food.
Oh, cool.
Then we kept going. I think the next person that picked us up was his girl. It started becoming nighttime now. Some girl, she worked at a bar, at a brewery. She picked at what are those beers called? They're like these IPAs that have like surfboards on them and stuff.
Yeah. I don't know the name, but yeah, I know that.
Yeah,
sure.
she worked for them. So
okay.
So she had a bunch of those in her truck. And it was just like us, and like there's no back cab in the truck. It was just us in there with her. Gave us, she's like, when she dropped us off, she gave us a bunch of beer. She said, "Take as many as you want." But we had like our guitars and like our bags were heavy. So I only took 3 of those. But because I was like, I don't know, we're getting picked up tonight. We're going to have to sleep outside. So I'm going to drink these to fucking,
knock out quick.
Yeah. And then we ended up, there was, no one picked us up. It was getting late. So there was this campground by Santa Barbara area. And we hopped the fence and we stayed in there. So it was safe at least.
Uh-huh.
And I remember it was cold as hell, dude. We woke up in the middle of the night and we started like doing push-ups and jumping jacks and yeah, it was hard to sleep after that night or the rest of the night. So then we get up in the morning and we start walking on the freeway, and this painter, Hispanic dude, he picks us up, takes us a few miles up, and he's like, he had to go to work around there. So now we keep walking on the freeway, and the cops pick us up. They're like, "You can't be doing that," and they search us.
Oh man!
Like, we catch you guys again, then we're gonna arrest you and all this stuff. So we're like, damn. So
they didn't give you a ride?
No, hell no. So we're like on the off ramp, and we're like, now it's harder because it's like less traffic. Freeway, it's like cars. Now it's like cars coming, not so much. So we like took a nap by this elementary school.
Okay.
Because it was just a grass,
yeah.
And there's no one there, so we just like slept there, kind of thing. And there was an In-N-Out. We got some food. Then this girl picked us up, and she took us to this Albertsons miles up. And she gave us like $20. And when we got to that Albertsons, they were giving shots.
Okay.
Like free shots. So we took the shots, and then we got some food, and then we were like, we got on to the freeway again. We were like, fuck it, let's do the freeway for a while. Because it was the next day. So we're like, we're not going to see that cop again. And what's it called? As soon as we get on the freeway, I remember starting to whistle Bob Seger's Turn the Page, like, on the long and lonesome highway. I was like whistling that. And then as soon as I started whistling that, this car fucking just picked us up. So it was like super quick. Yeah. He was a musician. He had a bunch of he had guitars in his car, and he took us. He's like, I have a gig in San Luis Obispo, so he took us all the way to San Luis Obispo, and it was like maybe like 45 minutes, an hour or something. So it was cool. We got pretty far. And then we watched his band play. He was like in this bluegrass band, and everybody, it was like right by the college or the university or whatever. And like everybody knew how to like professionally dance, like swing dance.
Oh, wow.
It was crazy, dude. It was like pretty awesome to see.
Yeah.
And then we met some other people there. They took us to their pad. They let us crash out at their place.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was cool. And then the next day we met this old man. He took us up a bit. He's like, if you guys don't find a ride, just let me know. Call me up, and then I'll let you guys stay at my house.
Oh, okay.
So we're like, fuck it, dude. He said he'll let us stay at his house. Let's just fucking hit him up. So he picked us up, took us to his house, and he's like, well, since I'm letting you stay here, here's he brought out these big weed bushes. He's like, just trim these for me.
Oh, okay.
So we're like,
they were in pots?
They're the just like weed, like with the buds and all that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we were just trimming them for him, And then the next day we woke up, he had like zucchini bread baked for us.
Oh.
And then he gave us what we trimmed.
Mm-hmm.
He gave us the bags, fucking fat ass bags. We were like, oh shit, dude. And then he took us like down the street, and then we continued, and we just kept meeting people like that all the way, dude.
Well, and where did you end up?
Up north, dude. We went initially. Well, we went to San Francisco, and we stayed there for like a week because my friend, he lived out there. So we went there initially, and then we were there for like a week. Then we were like, all right, it's time to continue. So then we kept going. We got up to like Eureka and all that. And he had another friend that let us stay there for a while.
Oh, man.
So just where's that? Humboldt. We went up to Humboldt.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was cool. We just kept,
That's funny. That's fun. It's like kind of like leapfrog across the West Coast.
Yeah, dude. It was just, and you're surprised by who picks you up. You know what I mean? Like the old man, like
just like,
some old lady. She says she threw raves and stuff like that. I don't know.
What?
She took us across the Golden Gate Bridge.
Dude, this is gonna like when I'm driving, it's gonna make me look at. Like, try to guess who will, like, while driving on the freeway, guess who, like, the passing cars, who would pick people up.
Yeah.
You know? Because I wouldn't expect, like, that many people.
Oh, yeah.
You know? That's crazy.
And I forgot to mention, in Santa Barbara, before we actually got picked up by that girl, there was these two guys who had an RV, and they were going to offer us a ride. So we were just kind of, like, desperate because we were tired. Yeah. So we're like, yeah, sure. We go into their RV. Dude, and it was like, these guys were sketchy, man. They looked like,
man, what happened?
They were just like, they were like tweakers.
Oh, shit.
Like, Hills Have Eyes type dudes.
Okay.
Like, inbred. I don't know.
Oh, my God.
They didn't look that creepy, but they had, like, missing teeth and, like the eye.
It was odd.
Yeah. We go inside. They have fucking, like, the guy from Walking Dead that has the fucking bat with the barbed wire around it.
Negan.
Yeah. They had like shit like that and machetes up on their fucking wall, like hanging. And then they grab our guitars and they put them up on the bed up on the top. And we're like, fuck. So there's like this spiritual thing between me and my friend. We're looking at each other like, fuck. Okay, we're speaking because it's like a survival thing. We're speaking without speaking.
Sure, yeah.
We're like, dude, we got to figure out how to get our shit and get the fuck out of here, you know? And then they're like, they start asking us, oh, you guys have money? Because their issue was they didn't have money to drive the RV. Mm-hmm. So they wanted to see if we had money or we could get money out to give to them. Yeah. So we convinced them. We're like, oh, yeah, there's a market right here, like a Stater Brothers or something. We're like, if we could play for a while, we can make money really quick, like busking, you know? Yeah. And then we'll give you guys the money for gas and all that. And they're like, they believed us. So we got our shit and we like went and we're like, fuck these guys, you know?
You just start running?
No, like they were waiting for us. So we kept the distance, but we were like, hey, we're not going to end up going with you guys. Thanks though. Anyways. And then they could sense that there was something up with our vibe. So they're like, let me just give you a piece of advice.
They're saying this to you.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. He's like, next time, don't think so much. And it was just like, that was it. And it was just total like shapeshifters, these guys.
Dude, that's weird.
yeah, it was like, and I'm talking about shapeshifters. They were like these entities trying to do something to us, you know?
Yeah.
What I mean? And they morphed into these guys or whatever, you know. And that thing was there.
Wow.
And it follows you sometimes, you know. But
Yeah.
there's always a balance. So there's like the angels that come and help you too.
Well, damn, dude, what the fuck? You make me want to hitchhike and not hitchhike. Like, I already know what I'm gonna subtitle this podcast. I already know what it's gonna be called, dude. Dude, that's ridiculous. Oh, like I feel so like I feel safe and not safe like in my room.
Yeah.
You know what I
Oh
mean?
man, yeah. You really appreciate like your bedroom after an experience like that too.
Wow, yeah, that's really fun. Dude, like speaking of it all comes full circle because we started talking about like Manson.
Oh yeah. Would you mind if I approached you?
No. Where's my bat shark repellent?
Oh shit, dude, it does come full circle.
Dude, you know, before we end it off and talk about like Dreamland real quick, you know, I'm so happy to say, because you're a Batman guy.
Oh yeah.
They recently in the main continuity, if there is any more continuity of DC, in the recent Batman comics, they've made the bat shark repellent canon.
Oh really?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Like in the Adam West ones.
So
Right?
here's the thing. Batman, I guess, I read a little bit of this last issue.
Like that was a real thing.
So here's what happened was Batman is like crossing the multiverse and meeting other versions of Batman. He meets Michael Keaton's Batman. He meets like the Kingdom Come version.
That one's badass.
Oh yeah, with the
I like the artwork in that.
Oh, the Alex Ross. Oh, and they try to reflect that.
It looks real too. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alex Ross is a genius. He meets that. He meets Batman Beyond. He meets the animated series.
Did you ever see the Batman versus Predator short film?
Oh yeah, dude, that's a classic.
Dude, I fucking love that one.
That's a class.
I like the way it looks. It's kind of
yeah.
that style, that Kingdom Come.
Yeah.
Like the way it looks and everything.
There's a shot of him like rising from the water, and the cape is like it's you know how the cape has
Even
the
Joker
edges.
looks cool in that.
Yeah, dude, it was like the most Batman thing I've ever seen in my life. But he meets Adam West's version of Batman, and he's missing his utility belt, so he's like, Adam West is like, here you are, old chum. Gives him the utility belt. He fights a multiversal shark, Joker shark, and what does he pull out? He pulls out the bat shark repellent.
Hell yeah, dude.
It's canon. It's awesome. But that fan film is also that's classic, and they got the music and everything, the Predators, and the Xenomorph's also in it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That was cool.
I think he kills the Joker.
Yeah, I forget which one kills Joker. Is it that one or the
I think
Predator?
it was the Xenomorph. I think.
Oh, okay.
He like grabbed him and scooped him
Oh
up.
yeah,
and
yeah,
everything.
right. Yeah.
It's like what the fuck.
Yeah, no, that was a cool crossover, I thought. Yeah, I mean, I love Batman too, man. I even liked that new one. I didn't like
the Pattinson one.
Yeah, I was cool with it.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of people didn't, but I'm kind of like
I like that.
kind of a moody guy, like the way the vibe was in that, you know. So
Yeah.
I mean, I liked it, you know.
I like that he had like a grunge phase,
Yeah, man.
you know.
And I like that '90s vibe and
Yeah,
shit. So
he had the
like,
Nirvana
I was
shirt
cool
on.
with it, you know.
He did wear a Nirvana shirt in it, right?
I don't remember.
Oh, okay. Maybe that was from fan art I saw. I'm actually going to do a podcast soon, a comic one, where I have a friend who hates Batman. I'm going to force him to watch some Batman.
Oh yeah, you better, dude. Did you like Watchmen?
The movie?
Yeah.
I liked. There are parts of it I love. Like I love the Dr. Manhattan segment, and I like Rorschach a lot. I didn't really care for the action in it. I thought the action was a little over the top in it. But I really like a lot of. I like the cinematography of it.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's beautiful.
I love that movie, dude.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, I like DC a little bit more than
Marvel.
Yeah, I'm not too big of a Marvel person.
Are there exceptions, like character exceptions, like Spider-Man or something? Or?
Never been that big into Spider-Man.
Oh,
you know, the
bro.
only thing I think X-Men is the closest
Uh-huh.
that I'm cool with Marvel.
Was it like the animated series that got you? The X-Men.
Well, even
animated
I like some of the movies too.
Mhm.
Like I liked part 2 a lot. That one was
one's
the
dope.
way it starts with Nightcrawler. And
Oh,
all
yeah.
that. Like that with the Mozart Requiem playing and stuff. That shit was badass.
Did you like Logan?
I didn't see it. I didn't catch it.
Oh,
no.
dude,
I've been meaning to. I just haven't.
that's the one to watch, dude.
Yeah.
That's the. Before we wrap it up, like when it comes to movies you'd want to make, is it like I feel like you'd be a horror guy, you know, like you'd want to make horror films. Is that true?
I would love to make something horror eventually. More of that like spiritual crossing over into the unknown.
Like existential horror?
Yeah, like some David Lynch type shit.
Yeah.
Like, you know?
Yeah.
And that kind of thing. But I do like, I would love to make a love film one day too, though.
Oh, really?
But like a modern, keep it modern, which is in the sense like the movie Buffalo 66.
Oh, okay. I've never seen it.
It has Vincent Gallo. He directs it. He wrote it. He edits it. He produced it.
Okay.
He acts in it. He did some of the music. So like I understand that, and
him and Tommy Wiseau, dude.
Yeah, I look up to people like that, man.
Yeah, sure.
Because it's like I could see why you would want to do that.
Yeah.
Because people are gonna kind of get in your way sometimes. Dude.
Sometimes, yeah.
And I'm not,
For
not
sure.
that I don't want to work with people.
Right, right.
But it just, if you can do that and you have the patience to be able to do that, that's how you're going to reflect the biggest, like the most you can tell with your art. But then it was a love story, but it was really dysfunctional and modern because it's like almost violent, and abusive, but it's like real,
Yeah.
And then a movie like The Graduate.
Oh, I love The Graduate.
Yeah, that's to me, it's pretty modern. It's made in the 60s, but it was like a modern love story too,
Yeah.
That's the way shit is, dude.
Yeah, it's still really, it's like messy and complicated.
And just the way it was filmed too. It has like really cool transitions, you know? Like, and then with the music, I love it.
Yeah.
I love that kind of stuff. And I would love to make a movie like that too one day.
Okay. Well, I'm really excited to see, because I haven't seen a cut of Dreamland yet. I'm really excited to see how it came out, because I mean the editors have been really hard at work. You've been hard at work. Everyone's been working double time on this project, and it's going to be.
I'm excited to see too what everyone what their final touches have been, and where's the location going to be?
It's in a like an assembly hall, but it's like.
Is it on campus though?
I believe so.
Okay, cool.
I believe so, and I think it's gonna be. I'm glad we're gonna see it like on a big, thing and everything. We got the 4K and everything. Yeah. Eddie was helping. Eddie was director of photography, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Eddie shot it and everything, and I'm really looking forward to this shit.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
I'm excited to see it too, and.
But you gonna be black tie?
Sure, dude.
I'll black tie with you.
All right, let's do it, dude.
I need to get it.
Yeah,
I need to get it.
I have one lying around. So.
Yeah, I'll be like those guys. Don't think so much.
Oh.
I'm gonna add like the ringing noise in post.
That was total like Lynch shit, dude, right there.
Yeah,
those guys.
I'm thinking if I should add like horror music to that story. When you like in post when you're telling it, you want me to do it?
Yeah, make some like weird.
I know exactly what to do. I'm gonna make you proud. All right, guys, we're gonna wrap it up. Thank you so much for being on, bro.
Much for having me.
This is a lot of fun.
I appreciate it.
I often say on my podcast, I'm excited to listen to this one at work. I'm gonna tell customers to shut up. So I can listen to this one.
Hey, and by the way, shout out to your coffee place. What was it called?
Charlie's Coffee House.
It was good coffee, man. Like I said, that day of Dreamland, it got me. That was another big tip right there. Just fucking drink your coffee, man. I drink like 12 cups of those things.
Hey, man, it's all about the caffeine. Cheers.
Cheers, brother.
There you go. Here, one last swig. Oh, my God. All right, I'm about to film a movie right now. All right, guys, thank you so much for listening.
Thanks again for having me.
Of course. Have a good one. Stay safe, and goodbye.